Hi everyone, this is my video about what's wrong with Mission Impossible The Final Reckoning. Did I say that correctly? The Final Reckoning. It was originally going to be Dead Reckoning Part 2, but they changed that. So I'm a little nervous. Mission Impossible is a huge deal to me. I think for most people, it's just like a fun summer popcorn type of movie. But like, it's like part of my life. It seems like every time one of the movies comes out, like my life is at a, maybe not turning point, sometimes. I mean, like the second one came out right when I was in boot camp in 2000. The third one came out right before I went into active duty Army in 2006. And just everyone is kind of associated with like a move or a new job or a career, something like that. So usually I do like screen captures, not screen captures, no, I just wander around and there's just like one image on the screen. But I found with movies like this that are very mainstream and have huge, audiences, regular people who don't know me, they don't think it's cute when you don't know the name of the actor or the character. So it's right here on the screen, so I don't blank on anything. So I like the movie. Go see it. Lots of spoilers here. Some coughing. It's an ongoing thing. Possibly a hiccup. I feel like that's kind of chambered as well. So anyway, this is the 8th and supposedly... I'm not joking about spoilers. 8th and supposedly final movie of the franchise, but it just ends like every other movie. Like, there's nothing about it. Ethan Hunt doesn't die. They don't shut down the IMF. He saves the day. There is a little. It's more emotional at the end. He's kind of nodding and saying goodbye to everyone, but he's Tom Cruise. He can do this for another 10 years. So I liked it, but it is my least favorite, which is the same thing I said about the previous one. And it's just for the simple fact that while these are very, very good movies, one aspect of the franchise I love is it's fun and kind of light, and the last two movies haven't been, specifically this one. So I like it, but it's not fun. It's interesting, it's dramatic, at times it's very heartfelt, but it's not like light and fun. Not that it's like super depressing, but go see it. And don't make an excuse, don't say, oh, this is an amazing franchise, there's never going to be anything like this ever again. Go see it. Go see it in the theaters. The funny thing is I saw it with someone who had never seen any of the other movies. And I kept leaning over like, are you lost? Are you confused? And apparently you can just jump into this movie, which is funny because I saw someone on TikTok say you can literally cut out the entire first hour of this movie because it's just a bunch of exposition. So that's not exactly correct, but it's not entirely untrue either. One of my issues with the previous one is there is the most inexpert, which means not expert, awkward exposition dump at this meeting at the beginning, and it's oh god, look, I'm reviewing this movie, not that one. Moving on. So this one is set 2 months after the previous one, and all I can say is Ethan Hunt's hair must grow very quickly. There's a thing in the series, I think there was 2 movies where it didn't happen, but it's like, actually let me do it in my mind. Short hair, long hair, first 2. Short hair, third. Long-ish hair. Long-ish hair for Ghost Protocol. Kind of in between for Rogue Nation. Fallout, short. Dead Reckoning, short. This one, again, long-ish. But anyway, this is set 2 months later. The entity has taken over, although they don't really stick the landing on it. They're like, the entity has taken over. things are basically fine, but he's about to kill all of us. It's a MacGuffin. It's not the strongest part of this. The strongest part, of course, is Ethan and his connection to other people. I've done videos on Ethan Hunt's psychology, and for what essentially started as a vanity project and still is to some degree, Ethan Hunt is one of the most fascinating characters, not just in spy movies, not just in action movies, not just in blockbusters. He is an absolutely fascinating character. He is this kind of, old school good guy hero with the self-destruction. Basically, he is always trying to die. One of my favorite parts of the franchise is, I think it was in Rogue Nation, where they basically start to admit that he's superhuman, and then they just count on that. But he's not normal. There's no part of him or this franchise that is normal, which is one of the funniest things, because people said, like, oh, this one's really weird. It's like, they're all weird. All of these movies are really weird. It's just Tom Cruise has a lot of, charisma and charm, and he's popular. Every single one of these movies is weird as fuck. And so that's one of the reasons I just kind of always loved this franchise. So anyway, he needs to stop the entity which wants to destroy humanity, although I think there was a line where he was like keeping some people. It kind of reminded me of that Harlan Ellison story, I have no mouth and I must scream. There's a lot of exposition. I think it was that he was killing everyone for self-preservation because they kept trying to deactivate him. Anyway, the whole AI thing, not that great. But what is great is that this is, the last of an era of this franchise that it just got better and better and better for like 6 movies over like 25 years. Last 2, not as good. I did hear something I didn't realize, that J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot was involved all the way up until Fallout. And, if you watch all of them, there is a distinct change for the last 2. So as much as people have issues with J.J. Abrams, I really don't. He brought something, and when he's gone, it's gone. But this one was, like I said, it's my least favorite of all the movies. I still had it. I had soda at the end. This is a huge test of how engrossed I am in a film. I had soda left, a lot of soda left, at the end of a 3-hour movie, and I didn't have to go to the bathroom. These are metrics. So it's very much in that we have to do the this to do the that, and we have to be there, and a lot of it feels like you go to a friend's house and he's a gamer. Come on, man, don't be the guy who runs out of battery. Be the guy who doesn't run out of battery. Now I've got to awkwardly. Actually, it's not that awkward. So there's a lot of we have to go here to transmit, and we need to do this, and we need this device. There's a lot of that stuff. There is an hour where there's a lot of exposition. It's not all exposition, but the 2 parts that were the best was there's a whole thing on a submarine, and I remember always hearing about this. They're like, oh, this is costing so much and all these reshoots. I'm like, are submarines really interesting? It's freaking cool. It's Ethan Hunt by himself in a submarine. Now, if you want to be one of those people who just looks for plot points, this might be the most target-rich environment. I think there is probably a plot point every 60 seconds. But it looks great. It's very interesting. This is a wonderful character, a very unique franchise. So I was engrossed, even when I kept thinking, like, whoa, this isn't fun. Like, there's very little humor. There's nothing silly. It's not light. It's very... And that's connected. This one, they're really trying to sell that the world might actually end. And if you remember, the original was like, we're fighting over the identities of some double agents. And then was a virus, but they had a cure for it. The whole point was to infect some people and then make money off of the cure. So it was going to kill people, but it wasn't going to kill the whole world. The third one was, well, that's the rabbit's foot, which turns out to be the AI that turned into the entity. So it wasn't a poison or whatever. Fourth one, I don't even remember what. Fourth one, a lot of people like, but I remember, it was funny, I was thinking earlier, the fourth one really bothered me when I saw it, but I don't remember why. Oh, no, I remember why. It was because it got a little too silly. The whole point of the fourth, is we can't rely on any of the tech. We just got to rely on each other. And correct me if I'm wrong, there were no masks in this one, right? I'm trying to think if there was a mask in the last one. No, oh yeah, there definitely was, on the train and everything. Were there 0 masks in this movie? I didn't go to the bathroom or anything. I didn't space out. I mean, there was a lot of flashbacks. But in the current continuity, no, I don't think there were. Wow. So here's the deal. Again, like I said, if you want to be a nudge and just cry about plot points, people will do that. And there's a lot of stuff that bothered me about this movie. While overall, I like it. I'm glad I saw it. Everything. Like, they introduced these two characters, and you're like, oh, these are the next generation. This guy's like a good guy soldier, but oddly compelling for some reason. She was an assassin, really cool assassin, and then she was converted because Ethan is nice. And then, man, they didn't do shit with them. They made a whole huge thing to introduce her to the franchise when they were dating during the last movie. They broke up amicably as far as I can tell, but man, there's a change in her screen time. She's just a girl there. She writes soap operas. She is an general, I think. Submarine captain. Okay, this is a bad guy. So Gabriel was funny because everyone commented on him being a really weak villain in the previous movie. This one, he is again. But at the end, he just turns into like Snidely Whiplash. He's like, ha 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 ha. He's like flying a biplane upside down. It's like, what the fuck? Weirdly enough, Benji didn't do a lot. Spoiler, Luther dies. A lot of bringing back guys from the first movie. So you had Kittredge, but then you also had this guy from the Vault, who was basically a comedy relief character. And yet he got treated like super seriously. I think Zola was just in a flashback. Nick Offerman he doesn't do a lot. And then there's some other characters from previous movies. But the whole thing with the submarine actually was really good. And it's a long sequence because they're doing a lot of things. And I didn't think I would like the biplanes. I love the biplanes. My favorite stunt of the entire franchise was hanging on to the side of that military plane at the beginning of Rogue Nation. That, to me, is just perfect. And that's my favorite movie in the franchise. I'm not a biplane guy, not a propeller guy. I saw this, I'm like, what is this? What is this, freaking circus act? Something like that? It's freaking cool, especially, he's really up there. Yeah, they have wires and they digitally delete them, but he's still up there, It kind of reminds me of something, if you ever heard of the Chosin Reservoir campaign during the Korean War. I'm fascinated with that. I've read like every book ever on it. And one of the things I always say is, if this would have been a training event, it still would have been dramatic because of the extreme weather and the environment. Like literally just going out there for a week to train would have been interesting. So, the biplane, in the plot, it's silly. And man, people really need to appreciate J.J. Abrams and Bad Robot, because when they left, a lot of stuff went... okay, so, man, this one, Katie M. O'Brien, she was in this movie called... what was it called? Love's Labor Lost or something like that. It was like this lesbian movie, magical realism, really, really good. Really good. So when I heard she's very, buff, when I heard I was like, oh, cool, they're going to introduce the new team, which they kind of tried to do before, but it didn't quite gel. I was like, oh my gosh, these three would make a great team. And spoiler, it's funny, he doesn't look like this in the movie, but this guy, I was sitting there thinking, it's like, this guy would be a great Nick Fury. He's got the, and then like 5 minutes later, they're like, oh, you're Jim Phelps' son. It's like, okay, we understand. If they move forward with the franchise, he's going to be in charge. And man, she was like nothing. She was just a sailor, a diver on the submarine. That was it. There's even a point where Ethan's in a fight and he gets saved. I'm like, oh, this is going to be the review. And no, it was just like a bearded guy. What the hell? But I know it sounds like a lot of complaints, but I'm saying for the theater environment experience, excellent. Loved it. How would I say this? No. Would I say I loved it, didn't like it, or liked it, didn't love it? Yeah, I'd say liked it, didn't love it, but that sounds like I'm hedging and it was just okay. This is an excellent film. It's just I miss the fun and the dashing nature of it. And the writing could have been better. Stunts were great. Everything was great. There was a lot of, not fantastical, but like, in the Arctic at a radar station, and you're like, this looks real. I don't think it's real, but it looks real. Everything looked good. Like, and I think we've all gotten used to bad special effects, especially in Marvel movies. Everything looked amazing here. So I enjoyed it. Go see it. It's worthy. It's my least favorite, but that's mainly for the fun angle, and like I said, the writing wasn't that great for this one. But the excitement and emotions of it, very, very good. I love this franchise. I love these characters. It's been quite a ride, as they say, almost 30 years. I'm totally fine with this being the end. I'm also fine with him saying, we got one more. Tom Cruise is actually looking better in this movie than he did. In the previous one, he looked very tired and stressed out because he's a producer, like a real producer, in addition to the star. So the last one was shot during COVID, and you can literally just see like the stress. Like, he never looks like he's having fun. This, like I said, this is not a fun movie, but it does feel like the energy is back. I've got to say, like, the whole the biplane, I did not think I was gonna like that. I didn't think I was gonna like the submarine. I'm not really into boats. I don't think that stuff is that cool, but yeah, that worked as well. The way I love this franchise, I can't be like, thumbs up, thumbs down, 3.5 stars out of 5. Go see it. It's a Mission Impossible movie in the theaters. Go see it. Go see it. Anyway, thanks for watching.